and it is crystal clear who she was referring to when she urged that we respect each other's views. She meant, of course, politicians and anyone involved in public life, which is becoming more fractious and confrontational by the day. Here's what she said: "As we look for new answers in the modern age, I for one prefer the tried and tested recipes, like speaking well of each other and respecting different points of view, coming together to seek out the common ground, and never losing sight of the bigger picture." To me, these approaches are timeless, and I commend them to everyone. On one level, that's a bland and unexceptional statement, not least because she was speaking to the Sandringham Women's Institute. Her remarks were commending the Wisconsin, which has long been symbolic of an innate British decency. But the words are so much more than that. After 66 years on the throne, the Queen knows a trick or two. She knows precisely how to frame a sentence, so you speak directly and urgently on a subject without even mentioning the topic itself. She knows you don't need to speak the language of politics for your words to matter and carry weight. And because she is the Queen, and so above politics, she has a unique role and a unique ability to speak both to and for the nation. Next month, the Queen will have reigned for 67 years. Throughout, she has managed to be scrupulous at avoiding any directly political statements. Every so often, someone claims to be able to reveal her private thoughts, most notoriously in the 1980s when it was said that she believed Margaret Thatcher was uncaring, confrontational and socially divisive. But it emerged recently that it wasn't the Queen who said this, but her then press secretary. Most of us can barely get through a day without saying something we regret the moment the words leave our mouth. It's simply astonishing how the Queen has managed to say not a single thing in over 6 decades that has later come back to haunt her. Which is one reason why she is listened to with such respect by the entire country, and why her words this week matter so much. Our politics are poisonous at the moment. Remainers label Brexiteers as racist morons. Brexiteers describe Remainers as traitors. Such words and attitudes matter. When politicians speak at each other with open contempt, it does not just filter through to the rest of us, it gives license to people to behave in the same way. You only have to watch a program like Question Time to see this, with audience members shouting in confrontation, their faces contorted with anger. This is deeply concerning and very dangerous. Our democracy is built on respect and consent. We agree to observe the rules so that our Constitution functions. But when that mutual respect collapses, it leaves a vacuum. We are not there yet, but we are close. The worry is who and what might fill that vacuum. None of us really knows what form Brexit will take, or how the country will look in a few months' time, let alone a few years. But whatever happens, whatever compromises are made or ignored, we have to find a way to heal the wounds the process of Brexit has opened up, for all our sakes, Brexiteers, Remainers and everyone's. The blunt truth is that no politicians are going to be able to do this. They are now part of the problem. Which is why the Queen is so important. If anyone can bring us together, it is her. She is the only person in the country with the stature and respect to be listened to by everyone. This is not the first time she has mentioned this theme. In her Christmas message last month, she pointed out that, even with the most deeply held differences, treating the other person with respect and as a fellow human being is always a good first step towards greater understanding. She concluded that the Christian message of peace on earth and goodwill to all is never out of date. It can be heeded by everyone. It is needed as much as ever. And while the Queen may be politically neutral, quite rightly she is not afraid to use her position to highlight issues that should concern a head of state. She is also a mother and a great-grandmother, and like all parents, she thinks about the world she will leave to her children and theirs. It must be deeply troubling for her to see a country known throughout the world for its moderation and civility so polarized and intemperate. No wonder she feels the need to remind us who we are. We have to heed our words. We have to find common ground. We have to look at each other and see not enemies but fellow citizens whose views deserve to be respected. This is about far more than Brexit. It is about public life itself, which has become ever more toxic. We cannot allow ourselves to indulge in this any longer, because the consequences are so dangerous. In some circles it is fashionable to bash the monarchy and dismiss it as an anachronism. In Britain today, it has rarely been more relevant.